my talk show. Welcome to 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 my talk show. And we're on live. Yo, what it do though? Joseph, baby, I already know, man. Back again after a long time. I know, I can't get away with my absence. So if y'all been following along, if you knew what was going on the whole time, then you knew that we decided to take it upon ourselves to run for city council in the great city of Warner Robins, Georgia. That is the 478 where I reside. You know, whoa time. Stand up. But for real, man, this was crazy. You know, we started this whole activism type of journey back in June of 2020, I believe, right around the time that George Floyd was senselessly murdered. I know, R.I.P. Mr. Floyd. Man, stupid, tragic. But you know, right around that time is when protests and demonstrations and things like that started kicking off in my city and around the country as a whole. And I decided, look, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part. I'm tired of just talking. I'm tired of just writing these poems and just speaking on things. Nah, I want to be active. I want to be a part of it. And I finally got the chance. And from that moment on, I just took that mantle, that baton, and just ran with it. And I met so many people, y'all. I can't even like stop and just think about like how many people in the past year and a half that I've literally had the chance to like just brush shoulders with. And man, it's been such an amazing journey. But I say that to say this. So I started this activism and I'm like, yeah, rah, you know, no justice, no peace, and all that other kind of stuff. And I still believe in that. I am at my core an activist, and I believe in changing, and I believe in being an agent of great positive change, and that's what I've always wanted to do. And speaking of that, that is the reason we decided to take it upon ourselves to go a little higher, to reach for even more. Now, being an activist is dope and it's fun, and community cleanups and food drives and going to these events and doing that kind of stuff is really where you make a lot of, you know, your butter at, right? That's where a lot of the good stuff happens. But that doesn't truly affect the change that we want. To do that, you have to get into the system. Now, the system is broken. Actually, let's be honest. Like, I know people say that the system is broken. The system isn't broken. The system is perfectly designed to be flawed. It is designed to be the way that it is. So it works for some and doesn't work for others, but that means it is working as a whole, right? And you have to get in there to change it, to break it. Now, there's things that I wish we could do with the system, but until that day comes, there has to be certain people who take it upon themselves to try to lead by the example and try to help change and bring change, whether it's legislation, policy, ordinances, codes, whatever it may be. Somebody has to take that charge. And I decided that that person could be me. And boy, whoo, man, dude, when I tell y'all, it is one of the, without a doubt, craziest, most exhilarating, exhausting, crazy. Like I can't even come up with enough adjectives like describe what it was like doing this, man. It was amazing and scary, and, you know, risk taking and just putting yourself out there on Front Street and being literally in the public eye. Like, I know I make the podcast and I know we have aspirations of eventually making this podcast so big it gets seen by millions, right? That's the goal. But to actually be thrust into the spotlight in that kind of, you know, context as quickly, it's a mind fuck. It blows you away at how fast things change in your life. So I decided probably sometime around, I believe it was like November, December of 2020, that we were going to run. We knew we were going to run. We was like, what are we going to run in? What election? So I sat down with my team. I sat down with my people, my folks, my partners, my homies, my friends, all of that, right? Okay. So I sat down with my folks and we decided, like, look, here's the perfect race right here. There's only going to be probably one challenger. And if there isn't going to be one challenger, we can at least talk to other people to get them to probably stop running to maybe hopefully support you. If not, you're still the best candidate, so run. That was most of the conversations, right? So it's like, bam, here we go, post 5. Now, if you're not familiar with Warner Robins, or you're not familiar with political posts or districts, or however they're districted as far as the lines go, Post 5 in Warner Robins is what we call the North Side, right? And it's traditionally impoverished, it's dilapidated, it's blighted, it's ignored, right? So you know me, I always got to find a way to really bring out what I truly see in things. So to me, I saw that there was this need in this community for somebody to represent them, to be a voice per se. Yes, yes, a voice. And that became the tagline, a voice for the voiceless, because it felt like for so long, as I was canvassing these streets and talking to these people, they were just telling me, like, look, man, ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing ever change. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing for us. And I was like, bruh, I promise it can get better. You just have to give this a shot. Give me a chance. Let me help make this better for you. And we made so many great connections, had so many conversations. Oh my God, man. There are so many things that go into running an election, from the beginning of it with qualifications and choosing your campaign team and like, all right, this is my treasurer, this is my campaign manager, this is my bulldog. Whenever people start talking that shit, I need you to get front and center and be like, hey, F y'all, F y'all, F y'all. Y'all cool. F y'all. You know what I mean? Yeah, half-baked reference. So basically, in the context of everything you have to do prior to the election or prior to even qualifying, then you have the actual, not necessarily the election, but the, I can't even call it, I mean, the voting period prior. I know there's another word for it. It's like slipped my mind. But anyway, so you have to do everything, prior to qualification. Then you finally qualify. Now you are officially a candidate. Good for you. You have taken that first step, and I'm proud of you, right? Now, we're going through the steps. You are officially a candidate. You have qualified, you have paid your money, you have signed your name on that dotted line, and when the paperwork comes out at the end of qualifications, your name is right there under the post that you are running on against the person that is also running for said post, right? Now, that's where we're at in our journey. So, as we're moving forward, what you have to do, if you're a new and up and coming runner like myself, you have to make yourself known, visible, seen. People need to know, who are you? Why are you running? What is your name? Like, who even are you? Who brought this guy over here? You know what I mean? Like, who's this guy? They need to know, who are you for real? So, we took all of our time in devising plans on how do we figure out the best way to cover this whole geographical area that would be the post if we win, of constituents. And are there areas where myself can't necessarily go in due to the image that I have? We have to be realistic about this. These are the kind of questions that black candidates have to ask themselves. White candidates might have to ask themselves that too, probably going into, certain areas. But I'm just saying, there's certain places that I had to send representatives on my behalf because I don't think that I would have been welcomed as much due to the way that I look, because I look a certain way. Now, once you hear me speak, once you hear my platform, once you see the things that I'm invested in, the things that I've done, and what I'm attempting to do for the city, you're like, wow, yes, let's get behind him. But, image, I guess, is everything. So, anyways, now you're going through the canvassing, right? You're going through street to street. You're talking to people. You're meeting moms and grandmas and uncles and aunts and the children, and you're, getting the fist bumps and the handshakes, and everyone's like, wow, you're actually talking to me. Like, I've never seen my city councilman. I've never seen my mayor. I don't know who these people are. And you're actually talking to me. And you don't even have this position. Like, yeah, like, I want to know, what is it about the place that you live, that you love so much, that you want to make better? Let me know so I can take that to these people, because these are the people that can change that for you. And we made so many connections, and we talked to these people, and we learned their stories, and that was honestly the most fun that I had the whole campaign trail, was the canvassing. was talking to the people, was being in the streets, was meeting, the big mamas of the neighborhoods, Miss Abrams and Miss Mildred and these, man, I'm telling you. And they were so dope, and just talking to them. And they got behind me and they supported me. And that felt so great to start feeling like you have the city behind you. You start seeing your name on signs over here, and then you start seeing people coming up to you in random locations saying, hey, I saw you on that forum. I saw you on that debate. Or you did really, man, it blows your mind because it's such a quick transition. That transformation happens so fast, it will whip your head, I promise. Man. All right, so like I said, you're canvassing this, that, and the other. Now you start to do events. The first couple events are going to probably be meet and greets. Everybody wants to know, who's the candidate? Who is this guy? So you start setting up these events, or you start hearing about events because other candidates are also running, and you start building friendships and relationships with other people who are running. And those relationships and friendships are going to benefit you exponentially after this, because now you know who are the people who want to change the city. Okay, we didn't win, or we did win, but how do we work together to bring this vision together and bridge it together? How do we do that now that we both are in the positions that we are in post hoc, right? So now you're going to these events and you're just chilling, and it's like, yo, okay, yeah, I'm Mike Jones. I'm running for post 5 or whatever your name is or whatever you're running for. And, it's cool. You got your people by your side. You got your cameraman who's one of your best friends. You got your girl on your side. You got your mom supporting you. Shouts out my dudes. Man, I tell y'all what, I was not going, I promise I could not. And I put that on everything I love. I could not have gotten through this election cycle without my dude. Shouts out to moms. I love you so much. Shout out to my team. Y'all were everything, man. Shouts out Charlene. Shouts out Tony. Shouts out Brandon. Shouts out Laura. I can't say a couple other names because they ended up, on council. So shouts out to y'all. I'm most definitely shouts out to everybody that helped and supported and pushed me through this thing. I could not have done it without all of y'all. Right. So now, like I said, we're going to these events. You're meeting people. You're shaking hands. You're seeing who the influencers are, the movers and shakers. You're taking meetings over here and you're talking to people over there. And now come the forums. Now, you might be more familiar with the term debate, right? But we don't actually have debates, because to me, debate is where somebody will say something and you get to check that dude, right? It's like, hold up, cuz. Now, you said this, but I remember in 2004 on July 17th at 1300 hours, you know what I'm saying? You get to really dive deep off into what that person's talking about. But you don't get to do that here. What you get to do is get to respond to a question, basically. And the question is going to be asked by moderators, and the moderator also is going to be in charge of holding time, and then the host is going to continue to push the event along, or the forum. Now, the forums are crazy because for me, y'all know I've never done this before. I ain't been on no damn debate team. What I look like on debate team. So for me, it was like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? How do I find something that can make this less daunting? Because public speaking is scary for a lot of people, myself included. Well, it was for a while. I'm not saying it isn't now. I still get stage fright. My legs be shaking so much, man. Oh boy, I had to do this performance. F yo hashtag. Y'all remember that one? Right. So I'm waiting to get up there. The host is about to bring me up. My legs are shaking. I cannot stop it. Luckily, I had somebody there that was able to help me. Shouts out. But man, that's what I'm saying. So public speaking, that thing is scary for people, and I understand that. I truly do. I get that. But for me, I'm like, what do I do? How do I figure this out? I don't really know. And I was like, wait, bro, you host a podcast. You talk in front of a camera with a microphone damn near every day. Why don't you just do the same thing? Just don't cuss. And sometimes I almost did. Sometimes I said things I wasn't supposed to, but I was able to really get through it. And it got to the point where I was really killing these forums. I'm not even trying to toot my own horn or nothing like that. Bro, folks was really telling me man, you're a rock star. You killed that. You did that. Man, you got answers and you got solutions and you want to change things, man. If I was in your post, I would vote for you. And I heard that so much. And then you start hearing all this other kind of stuff. And you try not to let it get to your head, because you still have a race to run and to win, but you still have a race to run, right? So you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but you're starting to feel yourself, right? You're getting closer and closer. And now what is it? Early voting done started. Now here comes early voting. And you're starting to wonder, like, what are these numbers? Like, who's coming through here? You go on the first day because it's like, hey, this is the first time I ever actually get to vote for myself, right? You put your name. It was amazing, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. That was a highlight. That was a highlight. I gave her my ID. She goes, okay, here you go. Thank you, thank you. Go to one of these little, tables and do your thing. So I went over there and I saw it. I saw it right there. My name under post 5, and I clicked on it, and then I clicked on the other names for the other races, and then I took my ballot and I submitted it, and I took my peach and I smiled. Oh yeah, we get peaches over here. I don't know what y'all get in other states, but over here, whenever you vote, you get like a peach. It says I secured my vote or something like that, or it might just be a Warner Robins thing. I don't really know, but regardless of the fact, they give you something just to show that you did support it. Anyway, so I took my peach and I was just happy. I was so happy. I was like, hey, I did it, I did it, I did it. I voted for myself, and I could not believe it, and I was so man, I was so amped and so excited. But like I said, you're going through this, and early voting is, it's a 3-week process at this point, and you get 2 Saturdays. So it's like, oh boy, all right, now we need to strategize and take full advantage of these voting Saturdays. Have people at the polls. Now you got to have people at the polls waving your signs, but you also got to be at these events, because there's at least 4 or 5 different events going on these Saturdays now, and you got to show up to the polls also and smile and this, that, and the other. And it's crazy how many things that you got to do, and you got to still canvass. You still got to go canvass, because there's people who aren't going to come out during early voting. There's people who got to come out and do it on election day. So therefore, you still got to make sure you hit all these other places with these door hangers and these signs and these flyers, and you still got to put these yard signs out, man. So you're doing all of this. It's early voting, and you're seeing the numbers that are voting, not who's they're voting for, but you're starting to see numbers, and it's like, oh man, this is getting real. This is getting serious. This is crazy. This is wild. What is going on? What is about to happen in my life? Like, wow, I might actually get voted in and become a public elected official. Holy hell, this is crazy, right? That's where you're at right now. And then you get to that one moment. You get to that one moment. It is the Monday before election day. And you can't sleep because you're like 5 years old and it's about to be Christmas and you hear reindeer on your roof. Like, that is what that feeling is. It is amazingly crazy, the anxiety and the excitement and the pressure and everything is just hitting you at once. Bow, 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 bow. And you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I even in a boxing ring right now, right? All right, sorry, crazy metaphor. Crazy analogy. But what I'm saying is, like, looking at it from that perspective, it's like, man, this is the biggest night of my life. Tomorrow, the voters decide if I am the best person for the job. And then election day comes. And it's crazy because you're already up. It's 5:30, 6 o'clock. You probably don't need to be up that early because you're not going to go to the polls until, I don't know, 9, even though they open earlier than that, right? But you're like, nah, let me chill. But you're already up. You already got your clothes on and stuff like that. And you're waiting because you're going to get up with your people. And you're going to go start seeing all the election spots. So you go to the 5 different polling places and you're riding all around the city and you're standing at your polling spot and you got people waving and honking because you're out there all day and you with your mom and you with your pop or your partner, my bad. You with your people, man. And it's just so crazy how everything is just flowing and flowing and flowing. And next thing you know, the polls are closing. And you're like, oh crap, we got to get to this commencement party or whatever it's party. I can't even remember what they're called. Campaign watch party. You're like, oh crap, we got to get to this party. So now you're at the campaign party and you're chilling and you're trying your hardest to not look like things are killing you inside, but you can't because, bro, you're on the cusp or the precipice of a life-changing event. You don't know what's about to happen right now. You just know that the vote is over, that they're counting it now, and you will find out in a little bit. So now you're seeing these numbers, and you start to see the numbers, and they're not looking too promising. And throughout the rest of the night, they're still not looking promising. And then eventually, you finally see what the final tally is. And you didn't make it. And you didn't make it. But the person that you ended up running with, who is an amazing individual, who was also one of the younger ones on this campaign trail with you, who you forged an amazing friendship with and working relationship with, well, that person actually ends up forcing a runoff. And you're like, hold up, all is not lost. And now you're working on this campaign for the next month, waiting for this election, right? So you're like, hold up, hold up. I might not have won, but my people, the people that I care about, that I know can make the biggest change, hold up now. They're still here. Hold up now. And then you become a part of that campaign. And guess what? Election day comes around a month after that, and you guys win. And your dog wins. Your girl wins. She becomes the mayor of the city. And you're like, wow. And everything just hits you at once. And now you get to become a part of a historical moment because, ladies and gentlemen, within 3 hours, LaRonda Patrick will be sworn in as the new mayor of Warner Robins, Georgia, and I couldn't be more proud, y'all. I don't think y'all understand how happy I am. Look, I didn't win. I fought. I fought my hardest. I gave it my all. Every day of that campaign trail, feet to pavement, foot to gas, whatever. We was gone, full throttle, but it just didn't work out. But they say sometimes what didn't work out sometimes does work out. Thank you for sending me that because I needed it at that moment. And now I'm back. Controversial Conversation is back. Open Minded Productions is back. Joust the Baby is back. And we ain't going away. We here for the long haul. And we got some great things coming. Speaking of that, I have a video that I will be dropping after this one so you can see what it was like being on the campaign trail. I promise you'll enjoy it. And who knows what'll happen. But look, man, for everybody here at Controversial Conversation, Open Minded Productions, I am so grateful to be back. And y'all know, as always, 2 things. I need y'all to be good. And I need y'all to be great. One love. Joust the Babe.